and welcome to this special conversation on ET Now. I'm Anisha Jain, and joining me today is Amish Tripathi, the well-acclaimed author as well. Amish, hi, thank you so much for making time and speaking with us on the sidelines of IGF 2024. And let me start by asking you about the latest award that you've announced in partnership with Jeffrey Archer as well. How did this thought process come about? Whom do you see as the likely beneficiary of these awards?
This is one of the things that Jeffrey and I had spoken about very often about encouraging storytellers. I think it was Steve Jobs who said very wonderfully, among the most powerful jobs in the world is that of a storyteller. Because readers give you, or people give you that which is most important, which is not their money, it's their time and attention. And through the art of storytelling, you can have both positive and negative impacts. So we thought we should have a prize for literature, which encourages storytelling. And we discussed this many times in any case. And then when Manoj Ladwa, when our friend Manoj Ladwa, a common friend, who is the founder of India Global Forum, when he came up with this idea that he wants to start this award, and he thought of naming it the Archer-Amish Award for Literature. I think both Jeffrey and I, we really love the idea and we want to take it ahead. It's a way to encourage storytellers.
That point is taken, Amish, but they say history repeats itself. You have been an avid learner of history yourself. Is there any point in history where you think India could be replicating right now? Because after a couple of centuries of downturn, we're now at that inflection point. Any point in history that you can associate it with?
I read this one line that history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes, right? Phenomena don't repeat exactly the way it is, but you can see some kind of similarities. Angus Madison, a famous British historian, his data showed that for most of the first millennium, India contributed between 30 to 35% of the world's GDP. Compare that to the US today, which contributes around 25% of the world's GDP. India was that powerful. And then there was a slight decline from the 11th century onwards. By the time the British came in the 17th century, we were around maybe 20 to 23%. So it was a decline, but not a drastic decline. But by the end of the British Raj, we had collapsed to, I think if my figures aren't wrong, maybe 5 or 6%, right? So it was a pretty drastic decline. And sadly, our decline continued even post independence because of our socialist policies. Our lowest point in human history economically relative to the rest of the world was actually the 1980s. Post the 1991 economic reforms, India has started rising once again. We are back again to, I think, around 7% of 8% of the world's GDP on a PPP basis right now. At the rate we are rising, it will impact everything. And this is the parallel that you will see with history. Acharya Chanakya has said wonderfully, Sukhatsya Moolam Dharmaha, Dharmasya Moolam Taha. That at the heart of happiness, of a good life is actually dharma. But at the heart of dharma is artha. Artha translates as wealth and power. India is finally rebuilding its wealth and power that we had lost over the last many centuries. Which is why I said earlier, it's one of the most exciting times to be an Indian. We'll be the generation that will see this happen. We'll be the generation that will make it happen.
Sure, that point is taken, but in your earlier avatar, you yourself were a banker and did all the number crunching, etc. You were a pass out from IIM Kolkata. Was it difficult at that time to come out as the religious, right-wing person in an era of left-wing wokeism?
Okay, no. Yes, I did my MBA from IIM Calcutta and joined banking in 1997. I followed a very traditional career. I come from a humble background, never really hidden that. So we, all four of us siblings, we had to be pragmatic and practical in our career choices. Having said that, we have never, all four of us siblings, we have never shied away from acknowledging we are very rooted in India. Uh, my parents were educated in the Hindi medium. Our generation was the first generation to be educated in English, and our parents were very clear. We are sending you to schools. They told us that our parents that they are sending us to schools which are way beyond their income and social class, and they want us to learn how to compete in life, and therefore learn the Western ways, learn the English language. But they were also very clear when you come back home At home, we'll speak in Hindi. And we are deeply rooted in our ways. So, in a manner, actually, we have the best of both worlds. But our roots are very clearly Indian. And I've never hidden that. From my first book in 2010, I said at Jaipur Lit Fest at that time that I'm a very proud Hindu. And that doesn't mean that I deride other religions. That's not our way in any case. We respect all religions. As far as this, this left-right discussion that happens, I'm not so sure that those divisions really apply in India. The concept of left wing, right wing actually emerged in France. And it's based on approaches to traditions, approaches to economic policies. In India, you could argue economically, practically every party is left wing because every party believes in welfareism, as did Acharya Chanakya, as do I, by the way. I also believe in welfareism. But we are also, a land that worships goddess Lakshmi. We are the original capitalist country in the world. So socialist economic policies are not a good idea. We must let the wealth creators and the businessmen do their job so that they can make India richer. But at the same time, we must use the wealth so generated for welfareism as well. So this doesn't really fit into any left wing or right wing the way the West defines it. We are in a way a best of both, right? So let's call it dharmic capitalism, that we actually have a goddess for wealth. We believe in capitalism. We believe in encouraging our businessmen to generate wealth and to take India back to the economic dominance that we had for most of human history. But we also believe in using that wealth for social good, for charity, for helping the weak. Remember Goddess Lakshmi in her representation, the pot that she holds of wealth of gold coins. She doesn't hold it up like this. She doesn't hoard it. She pours it out. That's the entire purpose of wealth. You earn it and then you give it to others. That's our culture. It doesn't really fit into left wing or right wing, Anisha. I call it dharmic capitalism.
Okay, so it's all about dharmic capitalism. That's a new term that I've learned today. But on that note, Amish, thanks so much for making time and speaking with ET Now. Really appreciate your time.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now. If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.